Hey everyone, so I'm just going to start with my brows. I'm using the Pixi and Cloe Morello collab palette, and I'm taking the dark brown shade in the little trio. I believe it's called Knot, and I just sprayed that with the Mario Badescu Lavender spray so that it would be a little bit more flexible and so that the powder would work almost like a gel or like a pomade. And I just started filling in my brows and trying to make the shape a little bit more structured. I use the BH Cosmetics eyebrow brush. I also used my Badescu Midnight Brown Cream Shadow, which is actually a contouring product, but I use it as a brow pomade. I've been using it as a brow pomade for like years, and it's actually one of my favorite products to use on my brows. So I use that just to get the edge a little sharper and to make things much more structured because I wasn't really having luck with the powder. Because my brows are really messy and crazy, I used concealer to clean them up. This is the e.l.f. concealer palette in the dark shade. So I took the little brush that comes with it and that light brown shade, and I used that to highlight underneath my brow bone. And because I don't like a super highlighted brow effect, I took the reddish brown shade that's a color over and I put that over top, and then I just blended the two together with my damp beauty sponge. And while I was blending, I kind of messed up the edge of my brow a little bit, so in a few seconds I'm gonna go back in and fix that. Yep, and there I am, just trying to fix the edge. Then I moved on to my eyes. I primed my eyes using the Urban Decay eyeshadow primer in Caffeine. And I just used my little Eco Tools brush to blend that primer out and, you know, get it to look like a nice smooth base. I then went on to set that powder using the e.l.f. under eye powder, the like translucent one, and I just used a big fluffy BH Cosmetics blending brush. Once my eyes were set, I just went in and taped my eyes, and then I used my Maybelline Fit Me loose powder in dark, and I put that all over the crease and built it up until it was like a deep warm brown. And I'm using a Wet n Wild crease brush, the like pink and white brushes. I went into the Nubian 2 palette and I used that orange shade at the top, Morocco. And I'm taking another Wet n Wild pink and white brush. I think this one is also a crease brush, but it's like a definer crease brush. It's a little bit smaller and more dense than the other one I just used. And then I just built this orange up in my crease. Then when I was done with the orange, I moved on to the NYX glitter glue. Just put a little bit of that on the back of my hand and tried to put it exactly where I wanted my shadow to go. I tried to be as like precise as possible because I find that that just makes the whole process easier, and it makes you less likely to get like glitter in your crease. So I used a little tiny brush to put the glitter glue on. And then I moved on to this LA Colors 16 color eyeshadow palette. I'm not really sure if this one has a name because there's a couple different ones, but this is like the super colorful like rainbow one. And I took that deep bronzy shade. It's the third pan in the palette on the first row. And I put that on the outer edge of my eye and kind of in the outer V. And I took it about halfway. And then I just took a smaller brush and I took the color right next to it. That color actually looks kind of like tannish in the pan, but when you put it on, it's like a very light, almost pale gold. And I put that like right above where the two colors mixed, right there, and into the inner corner a little bit. And then I just used the same little brush to blend the two golds together in the middle of the eyelid. And then I took a little like rounded brush and I took that white shade, the first shade, and I put that in my inner corners to highlight. And I moved on to eyeliner. I'm using the NYC black liquid eyeliner, but this is like the glittery black one that has some glitter in it. I don't know if they still sell this. I don't know if you can still like find this. I bought this online, but I know NYC is like discontinued, but hopefully you can still pick it up. It's a really good like black eyeliner. And I did like a semi kind of thick line with like a little wing on the end. Nothing too crazy. And then I moved on to this black eyeliner. This is the NYK. I think this is a like waterline eyeliner, I think that's what it's called. And I just tight lined with that to make my eyeliner look amazing. And because this this eyeliner is kind of glittery, I wanted a more matte look. So I took the black eyeshadow in the Cloe Morello Pixi palette. I think it's called Tux. It's Tux. I put Tux kind of over where my liquid liner was. And then I went back into the white and the pale gold. I kind of mixed the two together and I highlighted my brow bone with the same rounded brush that I had used earlier. And then I took that big fluffy BH Cosmetics brush from earlier and I used that to kind of blend out the highlight. Finally, I peeled the tape off. This was a very difficult process. And then I moved on to my face. I used the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Primer, the soft matte one, like the original one that came out. And I put that on, rubbed it in. I went kind of heavy on like my forehead and chin because I'm going to use another primer on my cheeks. And yep, here it is. This is the NYX Studio Filter Primer. I think that's what it's called. I'll put it in the description. But this one's just like a silicone based one, which I like to put on my cheeks because my pores are very large there. And I put it on my nose, like the center of my forehead. I also forgot to mention earlier that I put the NYX Glitter Primer on my nose because my foundation moves a lot there. And I moved on to foundation next. I'm using, this is Maybelline Fit Me in shade 358. And then this is the MAC Studio Fix Fluid Foundation in 7.5, I believe. And I used an e.l.f. foundation brush to kind of blend those two together on my hand and then like pat them out onto my face, like dot it to evenly distribute it. And then I just started blending away.
Oh, I knew you would go back. You must be missing me so bad. When you left, you said that I don't deserve you, but I can see that you don't want to lose what we had. Oh, you're the one.
Then I moved on to my concealer. I went back into that e.l.f. concealer palette and I took that first lightest shade. I just dipped my sponge right in. I didn't have time to look for my concealer brush. I just dabbed that on. And then I took my Maybelline Fit Me concealer in Cafe and I dotted that right over top. And then I highlighted the rest of my face. I did a little bit on my nose because I don't really want to highlight my nose because I think it's a little too large. Same with my forehead. My forehead's kind of large, so I did a little bit there. And then I did the chin and Cupid's bow. And I took that same little beauty sponge that I had been using, and I just blended out the concealer on my face. And then I moved on to this Real Techniques brush to blend things out a little further and set my under eyes with that e.l.f. powder that I used to set my eye primer earlier. Then I moved on to this e.l.f. bronzer palette, and I took that light brown shade in the top corner, and I just used that to like blend out the bake underneath my eyes to give me some more color and a little bit more warmth. And I used that same powder to set the rest of my face. Then I went back into my Fit Me powder, and when I dumped it, like way too much came out. That's why I'm not a fan of these powders. And I took my Real Techniques sponge that I haven't used up until this point, just to put the powder down because I hate using loose powders with a brush. And then when I was done like setting it with the sponge, I just used my Mary Kay powder brush and blended everything out. Then I went back into the e.l.f. bronzer palette. I took this Wet n Wild contour brush and I just went in on the cheekbones. I also did my jawline a little bit, and then I went on to my nose. And then I went back into the Cloe Morello palette and I mixed those two brown shades, the like ashy brown one and the really deep brown one that I used on my brows, just to add a little bit more to my contour, just to give it some more depth. Then I moved on to blush. This is the Milani Romantic Rose blush, and I just dotted that on my cheeks. Now when I put it on, I love this blush. It's so like pretty, such like a nude pink. Back into the Pixi palette. I took this color at the end. I can't remember what it's called. Put it in the description. And I just dusted that over top. These blushes are super sparkly, so I try to use them with the light hand. I used the Wet n Wild Gold Bar highlighter, the limited edition one, but I think you can definitely still buy this online. And I just used that to highlight my cheekbones. And then, you know, tip of my nose, bridge of my nose, Cupid's bow. I kind of went in on the nose, but I just wanted everything to match, the golds to match up. And then moving on to my under eye, or my lower lash line, I took Morocco again from the Nubian 2 palette, and I used that same Wet n Wild brush I had used earlier to put in my crease to blend it down on my lower lash line. And then I went into that like ashy brown from the Cloe Morello palette, and I used that just to kind of deepen everything up. And then I moved on to just setting my brows. This is the Great Lash Blast like clear mascara brow gel. Use that to set everything down. Then I just, you know, decided one highlighter wasn't enough and I need to add more. So this is the Technique Get Gorgeous highlighter in 24 karat gold. Just another really pretty golden highlight. This one's a little bit more bronzy. I applied some false lashes off camera because I was struggling, and I don't know if you can tell, but like my inner corner was lifting like crazy. So I added mascara. Sorry, I'm a little sick. Sorry for the sniffles. This is the Too Faced Damn Girl mascara, the sample size. And then I said, damn it, because I got mascara all over my lower lash, which I did not mean to do. So I had to go in and fix that. And my way of fixing it was kind of just smearing it on the lower lash line and adding black eyeliner to just make it really intense and like dark and smoky, which wasn't my intention, but you know, here we are. And then I kind of just like put the black eyeshadow over top to like set what might still be wet. Moving on to the lips, this is the Fenty Beauty liquid lipstick. Oh my god, why can't I remember the shade? The shade is Uncensored, but this is the Stunner lip paint. That's what I meant to say. And this is like the bright red shade that was like one of her first shades. Y'all know what I'm talking about. And I tried to be like really slow and careful because with this lipstick you definitely have to like play around and get your lines right, which is what I do like about it because it dries down kind of slow. Looking back, I probably should have just used a lip liner to make things a little bit easier for me, but it's fine. I think it came out good. And I definitely just like put a huge glob of it in the corner of my mouth. So it took me a minute to notice that, yep, and then I saw it. So then I took my sponge that had a little bit of powder on it, and I just tried to like fix where it had gone over a little bit. And then I had to take my scarf off because, you know, we had been looking crazy this whole video. But when I took my scarf off, I could definitely see the line where there was like no foundation on my forehead from my scarf. So we had to fix that and put some powder on that. And yep, that's it. That's the finished look, guys. Thank you so much for watching.